Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin mi naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I am just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night, beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are visiting two places, two completely different places. One is a newish restaurant located in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. It's called Fonda El Cucon, and you're going to meet the co-owners Belen and Jorge. Belen and Jorge are from my neck of the woods in sunny California. And then we're going to clean up our teeth, and we're going to take you to the dentist. I mean, you always brush your teeth before you visit the dentist, don't you? It's like, it's like dusting and tidying up before the maid gets to your home, right? Anyway, all kidding aside, of course you brush your teeth before you go to the dentist. What am I talking about? Anyway, all kidding aside, we're going to be visiting a husband and wife team, dentist Jesus Herman Sylva Lomeli. His patients call him Herman. And it's pronounced Herman, and it's spelled German, okay, German. But the G is silent in Spanish, and so that's how they pronounce it, Herman. And it's a long name, but come on, that's why we shortened it up. So his wife, who works with him, is a periodontista. Her name is Maria de la Cruz Herrera Mora. And did you notice that was long too? Yes, it is. Her patients call her Maria. And we're going to meet this dynamic duo of dentistry right in the romantic zone of Puerto Vallarta. We're going to learn about dentistry in paradise, but before we eat and brush our teeth, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 24th of June, 2022. After last week's podcast episode, I got lots of emails regarding our friend Eric, our driver, Uber driver, and Ian driver, and personal driver. Seems that some of you had a hard time finding his phone number in the show notes from last week. I do have him there. You should be able to see it there. But I do have that information in this week's episode as well as last. If you can't find it, go take a look at it again. I did put it in there. If you want to hear it, I'll read it to you. It's 01152. That's how you're going to start off all those numbers if you're calling from the U.S. or from Canada, and you're calling down to Mexico from those areas. You start with 011 and then 52, and then the area code is 322, and it's 134-4219. I have it in the show notes, of course. Some of you also wanted to see more of Ellie and Russell's pictures of all those magical towns that they went and visited that we talked about last week. And some of you wanted to even visit, to follow her on Facebook. You can actually follow her on Facebook or on Instagram. On Instagram, she is known as Ellie Wren's Banshee Baby. Or on Facebook is Ellie Wren's, E-L-L-E, Wren's, R-E-N-S. I've got that information in the show notes. And speaking of drivers, I got an email from our friend John Bennis. John was on the podcast some time back, and he was talking about his war on trash, his guerra contra basura that he waged up in Talpa de Allende. I hope that you remember that podcast episode. He was actually attempting to replicate that same program in Puerto Vallarta. Of course, Puerto Vallarta is a much, much bigger place. It's got far larger challenges for John. But he got a group of taxistas together to do a good deed. He writes, Cleaning Up Vallarta, War Against Trash, on Thursday, June 9th. A group of 32 taxi drivers and staff from the APV Airport Transportation Company volunteered to help and collected 25 bags, or about 3 tons of trash from Rio Camarones that parallels Avenida Libramiento. Thanks to these volunteers, all this trash is now not going into our ocean and beaches. We also cleaned up 8 bags of trash from a vacant lot located just 1 block from the Coppel store near Plaza Las Glorias. The cleanup began at 8 in the morning and concluded at 11 o'clock in the morning. And the campaign slogan is, it's the responsibility of everyone to keep our planet clean, no matter where you live or what country you're from. Now, if you would like to be a future volunteer, it says here, please call John Bennis, Director and Campaign Coordinator of the War Against Trash, or Guerra contra la Basura. He's got his WhatsApp number here. I have it in the show notes. He also has his phone number that you can use either in Canada or in the United States. And, of course, you can visit him online at www.waragainsttrash.com. And so thank you, John. Now, John was in Mascota a couple months ago. He got in touch with me, and he told me he was doing the same thing, but he's back in Vallarta, doing his best to keep the trash out of our oceans and out of our rivers and, out of the neighborhoods. And, he's just doing his best to educate people about the importance of taking responsibility, for their environment and taking pride in the places that they live. So anyway, thank you, John. I mean, it's amazing what you do for Mother Earth. I have all of John's contact information in the show notes, as well as a link to that interview that I had with him way back, maybe a year and a half ago. They're in the show notes. By the way, if you don't know this, John is 82 years old. Many of the art walk galleries will remain open during the summer. So if you enjoy doing the art walk thing and you're in town, it did not end as it usually does at the end of the season. It's continuing. So here it reads, enjoy the art walk in our cobblestone streets. Look for us in Facebook. And hey, you want to take the route that you like and go see those participating galleries. The hour for the art walks are from 6 until 10. They happen every Wednesday evening. And look for those signs in the participating galleries, or just go online to www.vallartaartwalk.com. Really easy to do. And get yourself some culture. Take a walk. It is rainy season, and we've said it before on this podcast. When it's raining, you need to stay off the beaches. You need to stay out of the water at night, especially in the dark, because you never know that you might run into a prehistoric creature, like a crocodile, who's out for a swim or looking for a meal or, doing his thing. And so there is this article here from Vallarta Pina Online. It reads, they asked tourists not to go to the beaches of Marina Vallarta at night. An attentive appeal is made by the authorities to people, locals, and tourists so that they do not visit the beaches at night, particularly that of the marina, as well as that of Boca de Tomates, since they are areas bordering the habitat of crocodiles, for which reason increases the possibility of an unwanted encounter with that species, which implies the possibility of aggression due to the territoriality of the species. In this case, the Municipal Civil Protection Unit asked tourists and locals in general not to visit the beaches, much less the marina, at night, since it is a place where there usually are sightings of crocodiles that move or leave to hunt from the Gulf course or from the mouth of the El Salado estuary. Faced with the possibility of crocodile aggression, as happened a year ago with a tourist who was staying in Puerto Vallarta and who visited the beach at night, the experts mentioned the importance of heeding the warnings on the beaches of hotels, which are reported to be areas inhabited by crocodiles, which move frequently and more regularly in the rainy seasons. Crocodiles don't look for encounters with humans, said the person in charge of civil protection, but unfortunately, it happens that some people, more out of unconsciousness than ignorance, go into the beaches at night, and that increases the possibility that they'll find a specimen, since they usually come out when human activity decreases to look for their prey, whether on land or in rivers or sometimes in the sea. Several studies carried out in the bay allow us to affirm that there's not an excessive number of crocodiles in the region. There is no proliferation of the species, but if you enter the areas where they live, it's likely that you will have an unwanted encounter. The local population already has greater knowledge of the species, habits, and usually more aware of its presence, so they don't go into areas where it's known that there are sightings of the species, but in cases of tourists, there may be ignorance or recklessness, especially some young people, sometimes under the influence of alcohol consumption, lose their fear and enter risk areas. There is no perfect way to avoid this encounter between humans and crocodiles, he said, but there is a way to minimize the risks, and that is not to approach the places where the species lives and take extreme precautions at night, avoiding the beaches, particularly those mentioned. We can all enjoy the beaches during the day, and human presence usually inhibits the movement of crocodiles, but at night the opposite happens, and which they perceive calm. They can go out to look for food or a mate, so it's best not to be in well-identified and marked areas where the chances of finding them are increased. And that's a great explanation. I have a link to that article in Vallarta, Opina, in the show notes. You can find it, of course, at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. The Vallarta Botanical Garden wins a top award in Seattle, Washington. This is a note here from curator and creator. God, is that hard to say? Curator and creator of the Botanical Gardens, Bob Price. He writes, Vallarta Botanical Garden gets the gold. Thanks American Public Garden Association for this amazing honor. We're the first garden in the history of the association outside of the United States to ever win the Garden of Excellence Award. So good for you guys. I have a picture of Bob's beaming face in the show notes as he accepts the award up in Seattle, Washington. So congratulations, Roberto. What a great honor, and what an honor well deserved, my friend. There were reports, it's kind of funny, there were reports over the last couple of weeks of an outbreak of monkeypox that was, I didn't read that right. Monkeypox over at Club Matamar over in Alta Vista. It seems that a number of folks came up with a strange rash, and then immediately they determined that it must be the feared monkeypox, formerly known as the shingles, before the you-know-what. Anyway, they blamed it on a mysterious, careless Texan, but it turns out that is a false rumor, I guess, or a false alarm. What a surprise. From Vallarta Reporter Online, it reads 11 Puerto Vallarta monkeypox suspects are negative so far. This is dated June 11th. Dr. Jaime Alvarez Zayez, director of the 8th Sanitary Region of the Jalisco Health Secretariat, reported that 11 suspects have been reviewed at the Regional Public Health Laboratory in Romance, but they were negative for monkeypox. He said, as of the 9th at 4 p.m., we had an influx of 11 people, of which 8 are male and 3 female. None reported having made a recent international trip. 7 of them did say they had been in the beach club on the dates between this 27th and the 4th, and 3 had fever and muscle pain at the time. However, none of them had skin lesions, the pustules characteristic of the disease. when doing the epidemiological study. So, not presenting the lesions, we discarded them as suspicious cases. As they did not qualify for the symptoms, they did not even have samples taken, since these are taken from the skin lesions, and none of these 11 had pustules. I'm sorry, you guys. Are you eating? If anybody's having breakfast or lunch or dinner, I am sorry. Regarding the Texan tourist who had previously vacationed in Germany and then came to Puerto Vallarta from May 27th to June 4th, the symptoms appeared. The United States authorities informed Puerto Vallarta that he tested positive in the PCR test, but they do not know more. The investigations continue in the places where he was, mainly in the Manamar Club, to contact those who were in contact with him. Alvarez reiterated to those who were at the club to be alert to any symptoms, pustules on the skin, fever, joint pain, lymph node growth, and if so, go to the regional laboratory from 9 o'clock until 2 if these are present. He said once you have contact with the virus, there is an incubation period to present symptoms of 5 to 21 days. Since it has been a week since the Texan left, the incubation period could last up to 2 more weeks. Right, so I have a link to that article from Vallarta Reporter Online. In the show notes, it will not turn up other than as a link, unless, of course, you have a subscription to Vallarta Reporter, which I do, and I pay for. Okay, let's get to our first interview, shall we? We are always looking for new restaurants when we come to Puerto Vallarta. Of course, we have our favorites that we never miss, right? We have our own, all of us, but we also have a wandering eye when it comes to our stomachs. I have a bit of an advantage due to suggestions that you listeners send me almost on a daily basis. And I got a call from my buddy Jack Dickerson, and he shared this restaurant with me, and so now I'm sharing this with you. He was at the grand opening last year, and he said, "Hey, Barry, this is a great place. You got to try the food. You got to meet the owners. They're really great people. They're from California. I think you're going to like them, and I think you're going to like their food." And so I asked him what kind of food, and he says Mexican food. And really? I said, "What's the name?" And he says Fonda el Cucon, as in Cucon. So I'm all, wow, hook us up. And so Jack did. Because I was going to be there a couple weeks later. And so I walked on up and sat down in the restaurant. Now, Fonda in Spanish is an inn or a tavern or guest house. In Cucon, I don't know, a bird maybe, a cuckoo, I don't know. You're going to have to ask one of these two lovely people about what a Cucon is. But anyway, this couple are a couple of lovers of Puerto Vallarta, and they were just on their vacation, deciding, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea to bring Mexican food from California to Mexico? I mean, don't you do that every day? Sounds crazy, right? Well, anyway, look at their Facebook page, and you will note they have raving reviews, and there's a reason for that. The food is delicious. Better yet, and by the way, go to my show notes after you listen to the podcast, and you can check out what kind of yummy food there is. I've got this great food porn in the show notes. So let's just go right now. Let us go to Lázaro Cárdenas. We got to wander way up to number 520C. It's right next door to Chenando's. If you want a landmark there, they're just up the street from Chenando's. So let's visit with the new kids on the block in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. It's going to be Belen and Jorge Rodriguez at Fonda El Cucon in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Belen, George, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Barry.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
So I'm actually from California. Grew up in LA, and we decided when we got married, we came to Puerto Vallarta in our honeymoon. We came here last year celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary, and we end up staying here. We haven't gone home. And now, as you see, Barry, you're in our Fonda en el Cucon, and we're here.
You're you decided to stay here and really throw yourselves into it.
We sure did. We actually decided to take the step further, open a little hole in the wall that we call Fonda en el Cucon.
Okay, now, this is not your first trip to Puerto Vallarta, so what was your first time here?
Our first time here. When was our first time here? 30 years ago.
1990. December of 1990 was our first time here in Puerto Vallarta. We actually came on our honeymoon, newlyweds.
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 And where'd you stay?
We stood at then it was the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Now it's the Sunscape. Things have changed.
Yeah, they
since
have.
then.
Right. Okay, and then what? What was your next trip?
Our next trip was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Celebrating our 30th in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
So we ended up staying at a nice hotel, and then from there we liked it. We ended up staying in a small little studio. Now we have a house, and now we have a little restaurant.
Wow. So you've moved down.
We actually did. We moved down.
Oh, wow.
Down here.
Wow. Okay, so tell us about your restaurant. How did you find it, and what did you need to do to get it all ready?
So we actually came out here. We really like Puerto Vallarta. But me and my husband, every time at night, we want to go eat something for dinner because I really didn't want to cook at home for two. So we started scouting around, and mostly I was missing my mom's cooking and my cooking, my authentic cooking for Mexican food. So there was no chile rellenos. We didn't find mole. So what I decided, I told my husband, hey, if I decide to stay here, let's open something and bring our home cooking from home here to Puerto Vallarta. We were walking by, and we saw this little place almost close to El Mercado, and we fell in love with it, and we did all the decor and everything, and we actually end up opening Fonda, selling our authentic Mexican food with homemade corn tortillas.
Yeah, okay. So how long did it take you to put it together?
And it took us probably like 6 months to get everything together.
Yeah, was it hard?
At first it was trying to learn with the permits, trying to learn what we could do, trying to learn what we shouldn't put and everything, but everything turned out very well. The puzzle started getting all together, connecting.
What kind of restrictions did they give you?
Well, I believe the best restriction was trying to get the person that was actually in this place out.
So this was it was occupied? Was it a home?
Occupied, yeah.
Was it a home?
Yeah, this place was occupied. It was mainly a hair salon.
Oh, it was a hair salon.
It was a hair salon. So the person that was in here wasn't paying their rent, and they were about to leave, but eventually she extended that leave to like 4 or 5 months. So it delayed our construction. It delayed everything what we had planned on doing here.
Interesting.
So
wow.
we should have been open, like 2-3 months ago, right? If everything went well.
Okay, so that's what happened. Oh, yeah, you had to get the non-payer of rent out.
Yes.
Well, at least you're making the landlord happy, I imagine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We made him happy. We pulled some strings, and luckily everything worked out.
So that was not a restriction. It was just kind of a roadblock.
A little roadblock, yes. And, I mean, the only other restriction, I believe, that was probably it.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to deal with the city.
It was easy. Yeah, we had
permits not so hard.
Permits, no problem. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, as far as other restrictions, no.
So tell us a little about your food. What do you have? Tell us about your menu.
So our menu is it's authentic Mexican food. That's really getting us here. It's our mole. Our mole is Puebla. We have one of our cookers here. He's from Puebla, so he's actually sharing his recipe with us. Mm-hmm. So in our second, we have a very strong chile rellenos. We have flautitas. We have enchiladas verdes, rojas, y enmoladas. The enmoladas are just with the satay with the mole on top of it. So we have them with cheese, we have them with picadillo, and we have them with chicken. We make other things too, like empanadas. Empanadas are actually stuffed with chicken, cheese, but those are deep fried. And they garnish it with, on the side, we have with the rice and our beans. And then we have our daily that we always make our fresh salsas.
So everything is fresh, all
Everything
homemade?
is fresh. Everything is homemade and it's fresh. We don't believe of putting anything. Well, we don't have any leftovers. That's a good thing for us.
Yeah.
But everything is fresh. We start cooking since 6 o'clock in the morning to have everything ready to open up at 8 o'clock.
Right. So your hours are 8 till when?
Our hours are from 8 to 10.
8 to
So
10.
we do
So you're all
serve breakfast too. Yes, we have fresh orange juice. We have green juice. We do huevos rancheros, huevos divorciados, huevo a la mexicana. We do omelets. We do chorizo. We do machaca and molletes.
And molletes también.
Molletes, yes.
All right. Well, that's a great breakfast menu. So you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes, we
So
do.
your lunch and dinner menus are similar?
They are similar.
Okay.
So even if you come at 8 o'clock and you want some mole because you can't come and join us for the evening, we'll have mole ready for you too.
Cool.
So our dinner and our lunches, they're ready in the morning too. So mostly that's why we prepare everything at 6 so we can have dinner. There's people out there they're not breakfast persons.
Right.
They're not an egg person. They want to have mole in the morning or chile rellenos. We'll have it ready.
Good. All right,
Yeah.
cool. All right, because, you're absolutely right. People wake up at different times of the day in this
Yeah.
town. I mean, morning could be any hour.
Yes.
So that's exactly right. All right. What about drinks? You've got you don't have a bar, but you have.
Actually, we
do you
do
got?
have we do have a permit to sell. We have beer.
Okay.
Okay, so we do have beer and we do have wine.
Good.
That and we're just right now almost getting ready for our permit to serve the beer and wine outside in our patio.
Okay.
We're
Well,
gonna
that's
have some
specific,
chairs.
right?
Yes.
Interesting. All right.
Yes,
But you
that's
can serve it in
different.
here, but
You can serve-
outside not.
Yes, not outside.
Ah.
That's a different.
Interesting.
And
little
you're
laws
allowed
here.
to, actually bring your own beer outdoor. Bring it in here to have it in.
Okay. All right. So if
place.
somebody wants to, bring a little bottle in with them, they can do that.
Yes, they
All right.
can.
Just, yeah. We just turn our backs on that. We don't even
Yeah.
see that. So there you have it. Do you do desserts? Do you do anything sweet?
Yeah, we have our arroz con leche and coco. We do flan. We do have tres leches.
Oh, so this is all traditional stuff.
It's all traditional. It's all authentic Mexican food.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you come here, it's all authentic.
There's no Tex-Mex in this.
No, it's
No
the real.
Tex-
It's the
real
All
deal.
right, look at that for you Californians with the real deal.
Yeah.
Hey, look, cuando estamos en California, hay más mexicanos en California que en México, ¿verdad?
Exacto.
There you go. That's
Sí,
how that
cierto.
goes, right?
Yes.
Let's leave Fonda El Cucon for just a minute. Let's go out into the town. Now, you serve strictly Mexican here. We're not going to talk about other foods or anything like that. But if you were going to get like a big juicy steak somewhere in town, where would you go?
I'm sorry, but you know what? I actually will go to Serrano's.
You will? Okay, you don't have to be
Yeah,
sorry.
Serrano's. I'm sorry, because when I came here, I was really dying for a steak, and I actually went to Serrano's.
Yeah.
I like Serrano's.
It's good, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're close
And I'm
to
close
the
to the beach, and it's closer to the house. So
Yeah.
I would go to. It's close in walking distance.
Right.
Yeah,
All right,
so
okay.
I really like Serrano's.
All right, I like that
Yeah.
too. How about Italian? If you're going to get Italian, where would you go?
Boca Divino and Basilio Vadillo. Around the corner also.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
We
a
love that little place.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
especially the waitress. She's really, really good. Her name is Sylvia. Really outgoing. So if you guys feel a little bit Italiano in Puerto Vallarta, I really recommend you guys to go there.
go to Cucon.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for breakfast, we have Mi Cafe. Right here, right down the street also.
Yeah.
Around the corner.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, we have Mi
that's
Cafe.
standard, right?
It's really good, and they open from 8 o'clock to 2:30, and then I have 3 other their employees that come through there. They come and work for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Look at
so we
that.
have Miguel that he's been with Mi Cafe for a while, and he comes in the afternoon work, and we have Cesar that I used to work for them, and too.
Oh, look at that. So
And we have Alexis too, the steward. So he comes after there. They come and work for me. So yeah, so we have a part of Mi Cafe over here.
That. How about that? All
Yeah.
right, so you guys know that the food is going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
If you had a day off and you were going to like go somewhere and come back, where would you go?
Yalapa.
Yalapa. How would
Yeah.
you do it?
How would I do it? We actually get a taxi boat, a water taxi.
Yeah, where do you catch it?
We actually get it from here, from
Los Muertos Pier?
by Los Muertos. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then
And then from there, we'll usually stop in
Animas or Camixto?
La Animas. We usually go to the Animas, and then we stay there for the day, and then we eat at the Caracol. We love to go eat the Caracol at that restaurant.
Where? What? Oh, that's the restaurant?
It's a restaurant.
Okay,
Caracol,
Caracol,
is,
and
Caracol
it's
in Las Animas.
in Las Animas.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Pretty good seafood.
Yeah. So
But
that's,
then when we're here, we want to get a little bit more seafood. You have to go to Boca de Tomate.
tell us about Boca de Tomates.
We love Boca de Tomate there because you could actually listen to music. It's an open view from the ocean. Just watch out with those crocodiles, though. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, those cocodrilos.
yeah, you have to go to Ramada George.
Yeah, you like Ramada Jorge,
I love
huh?
Jorge, yeah.
Well, of course you do.
Yeah, but actually it's not Ramada Jorge, it's actually Ramada George.
Oh, Ramada George.
Yes.
All right, well, then I understand.
Sarandadio's really
George,
good.
come on, right?
Yeah.
She knows. So that's the one. And what do you get when you go there? Do you get the pescado zarandeado?
We get the pescado zarandeado, la langosta.
Oh,
we
so you
get
get a little bit of that.
tacos de camarones y de pescado.
Really?
Really delicious there.
Yeah. What a great place to go.
Yes.
It's so wonderful to watch the families.
Yes.
Yeah. And the music and everything.
Yes, the atmosphere, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's real Mexico. Well, yeah, I mean, it's old style Puerto Vallarta. You
Yeah,
know?
that's
It's like
what
when
we-
you were here 30 years ago. That's what it was like.
Exactly.
Yeah?
That's what we miss.
Yeah.
Because it's grown so much out
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it has, right?
has.
It's
It
going to
has
be
grown.
Miami
'Cause
Beach
when
before
we-
you know it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? When we came back, we were like, whoa, what happened here?
Yeah.
We were looking around and we were like, wow, look at this.
Yeah, totally.
Incredible.
Even if we own a Fonda. We own the Fonda where my associate is my brother. His name is Carlos.
Yeah.
Let's shout for Carlos.
Yay,
He's actually
Carlos. ¿Dónde
He's
está
actually
Carlos?
he's in Texas right now.
okay.
He
All
has
right.
to bring the more dollars
Okay, yeah.
to
All right.
get more stuff going
some
here.
PPE,
Yeah.
Some PPE coming down? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, yeah. So actually, it's my business partner. It's me and Carlos,
Yeah.
and but we love it here. Even though we feel that we have opened a restaurant, I still feel I'm in vacation.
So this is like really weird because you came here on vacation and you stayed. So how is that? What is it like? Like being like here for, more than 6 months?
It feels great. We're still on vacay. Feels like it's still on vacation. What do you feel, George?
George says, what are you talking? I've been working. What are you talking about?
I've been working this whole time.
Yeah, right?
I've been the backbone.
Right. So now I know why you're on
Yeah,
vacation. I
she's
get it.
still
here,
on
but then-
vacay, but we're both on vacation, to be honest. It's been a teamwork effort,
Yeah.
her and I. So
Well, it's a work of love, and you guys, you did the whole lovey-dovey here. I mean, this is part of that whole progression. which is
definitely.
really
I mean,
cool.
it's been a dream, especially for her to have a little restaurant. We tried doing it in the States, but opportunity came here, and we're here.
Yeah, I think that's
what
really.
happened.
I think that's pretty
Right,
cool.
Belen?
Yes.
All right, Belen, if you had 3 days, where would you go for 3 days?
If I had 3 days, first I to the spa to get a good massage,
You have a
especially on my
favorite?
feet.
Do you have a favorite one?
No, I actually don't have a favorite one. So if anybody wants to recommend,
Okay.
you could find me at Fonda en el Cucon and bring your business cards to me.
Good.
Second, I'd probably go to Yalapa and just relax there and be over there by the waterfall,
Yeah.
And my third one, what would it be my third one? Actually, yes. Probably drive to Sayulita.
Ah, so
I love Sayulita, yes.
Yeah. Do you have any special places there that you like?
Actually, no. I like to just bum it on the beach and, and have ceviche there at the beach.
Okay. Good.
But that's what I like to do.
Nice. Yeah. Little seafood by the sea.
And right, yeah.
Get yourself a contact high.
Yeah.
Yes. If you had one place in Puerto Vallarta, let's just say that someone came to visit you and you didn't have time, except we're going to take them to one place in town that represents Vallarta, what would that one place be?
Yeah, El Malecón.
Uh-huh. All right.
Take them to the Malecón, have them walk and sit.
Start with the Puerto Vallarta sign and walk them towards the cathedral. Admire that. And if they're feeling a little, to do a little exercise, probably the Mirador.
Yeah, right.
Way up there, it's a nice view. You get a view of the whole city, and it's a wonderful view. I've been up there a couple times.
Yeah, and that's, for you, that would be like, that's the spot, right?
That's the
because
spot,
from
yes.
there you could kind of go,
Yes,
this is that, this
I've
is
taken
that,
my
this is
son
that.
up there. He took lots of pictures. He was like, wow, Dad, it's a hell of a walk.
It is, right?
It's a hell of a
Because
climb.
you get up there and you go, oh, I'm almost there.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
it's like,
almost there.
oh, wait, there's steps.
Yes, 50 million of them. So just be aware of
Count
that.
them. There's 1,000. Count them. No, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't counted them, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close. If you had a word of advice for a first-time traveler coming to Puerto Vallarta, what would that be?
Word of advice.
Yeah. Don't don't go ahead and start a restaurant. No, I'm kidding.
Word of advice, maybe get smart with your money conversion out here.
Yeah.
There's plenty of apps you could send money to, or either use a bank before you come here. Do not exchange funds at the airport.
Right.
That's a big ripoff.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Get ready. Get ready for your money.
Get ready,
Get
yes,
your
that's
money
the main
ready.
thing.
Tell your bank you're going to be using your credit
Advise your
card
bank you're-
over
right.
at an ATM machine. Don't use ATM machines
use-
except
right.
for in a bank.
Right.
Yeah.
That for me, that's personal. I guess.
That makes a whole lot of sense,
I would
right?
give that advice to anybody.
A lot of people show up and they don't know. They have no clue that, you mean I can't spend these here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, but it's just going to be hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Any words of warning for a first-time visitor?
Oh yeah. Be careful with the mosquitoes. A lot of repellent.
Yeah. Be ready.
Be
right?
ready.
Yeah.
But no, it's pretty safe here.
Yeah.
I consider it safe. So I have no problem.
Okay.
I don't know about Belen.
What do you think, Belen?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Just a little mosquitoes here and there.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yeah, nice. All right. Well, that's good. That's good to know. We all need that.
Yeah.
All right, let's come back over here to Fonda del Cucon. Tell us exactly how to find you. What's your address?
So our address here is Lázaro Cárdenas, 520C, Colonia Emiliano Zapata. Our phone number here is 322-403-2507. We do take orders, and we're actually open from Monday through Saturday from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We have on Sundays our menudo. We sell menudo in the morning, menudo blanco, menudo norteño. Our menudo norteño it's red, and it has hominy in there. We have birria, and we have pozole on
Sundays.
On Sundays.
Wow.
Yes.
So you do the traditional Sunday morning and probably through the day, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we have our two beautiful ladies here that they do tortillas. Handmade corn-made tortillas.
Oh, you
yes.
can't beat that. You just can't beat the texture and the taste of a handmade tortilla.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, and you're on like Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff?
Yeah, we do have Facebook, and you can find us on Fonda el Cucon, and the same thing for Instagram, Fonda el Cucon.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll have the links to those in the show notes. Of course, you'll find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And I'll even have like pictures of the inside and pictures of their food, because we do food porn here, as you know, when you go visit the website. And I'll actually have a Google map that'll take you right to the front door, so you can't miss it. And is there anything you wanted to add before we say goodbye?
No. Do you have anything to add?
No. Everything looks nice. Just living the Mexican dream now.
Right.
Yeah, and please come and visit us. And everything that even if we don't have in the menu, you just ask for it, and we'll be glad to try to do it for you.
Wow. All right.
Yes.
What else could you ask for?
Right. Yes.
Wow. All right. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show today and giving my listeners an opportunity to hear a story about a couple Californians coming down here and decided not to go back home and instead open up a business.
Yes.
So best of luck to both of you. I know you'll do great. The food here is delicious. And once again, thank you for letting me introduce you and Fonda
Barry.
El Cucon.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Belen and Jorge. Such a sweet couple. And the food is outstanding. So for breakfast, lunch, dinner, they're open. And these people can really do Mexican food. They really can. Now, I don't know. I mean, bringing Mexican food to Mexico, what a concept, right? I have their contact information and a map that'll get you right to their front door. You can find it right in my show notes. And now, my next guest is a dentist. So let's go brush our teeth, like I said earlier, and let's go walk down the street to our next interview. Now, I met Dr. Lomeli through my friend Johnny D. Wow, actually, come to think of it, that's 2 weeks in a row that I have a suggestion that I got from my Canadian buddy. If you don't know Johnny D, Johnny makes and sells spicy pickles and carrots and focaccia bread, and he makes smoked salmon and beef jerky and smoked cheese. And, this is what he does as his little side gig, his little supplement thing for his Canadian pension. So I'm telling you, you know what? I don't know. You need to see this guy in action and on the streets and in the bars. It's a total riot to watch Johnny D work the room. People love his stuff. People love the stuff that he makes. What can I tell you? Anyway, he works it. He enjoys it. I enjoy watching him work it. So, anyway, one day we were sitting in front of Por Favors. We were listening to a band. And he asked me if I ever interviewed a dentist for my podcast. And I say no. But you know what? I would really love to. And he says, I've got a great dentist. And he works with his wife. They're a team. And the office is just down the street. Anyway, he tells me he just loves them. He says that they're attentive, that they're gentle, that they're reasonably priced, and that they're really nice people on top of everything else. So I said, well, what are you talking about? Let's go. Make an introduction. And, of course, that's all he needed to hear. 3 days later, I was there. I was sitting in the waiting room, and I was listening to the kind doctor work on an emergency last-minute patient. Now, I had been running late. I've been running, not late, but all around town. I was on time. I was actually right on time, okay? And I've been doing interviews all day. And this was actually my first chance to sit down and relax and open up my phone and look at my emails. And there was an email from Herman, from Dr. Lomeli. And he was apologizing that he was not going to be able to do the interview because he had an emergency last-minute patient, which I was listening to in the next room, okay? And, he needed to see this guy at the end of the day so that he wouldn't be able to talk with me. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, So, there I was in his office. And do I pretend I did not see the email? I mean, in all honesty, I hadn't. I was sitting right there, right? So, yeah, I pretended that I hadn't seen the email. I'm sorry, Herman. I didn't tell you that. But yeah, I pretended I didn't see it. And I just took that particular time while he was working on his patient to rest and go over the rest of my emails. And when he was done, he looked a little tired, but he was a real trooper. And anyway, hey, Herman is young, okay? What can I say? So, all right, let's go right now and meet this hardworking dentist who actually just moved his office. He was over on Lázaro Cárdenas, and now he moved just a little bit over to Alta Vista, just beside the Romantic Zone. And let's go to Manuel M. Dieguez, 404 in Colonia Alta Vista, and meet your new dentist in paradise, Jesus Herman Sylva Lomeli. Herman, for short, in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Herman, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, I am from Guadalajara. I studied dentistry in Guadalajara. So what led me here was actually I fell in love. But I fell in love with a woman, and she's from Puerto Vallarta. So we got married, and we came here.
Okay, so did you meet her in Puerto Vallarta, or did you meet her in Guadalajara?
No, we met at dentistry school in Guadalajara.
Ah, she's a dentist too.
Yes, she is.
All right, so you work with your wife.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, I work with my wife too. How's that going for you? Oh, she's wonderful. I know.
She's not around, so I can say no. She's wonderful.
Of course she is. She's absolutely wonderful. All right, so you came here how long ago? How long ago was that?
That was about 6 years ago now.
Okay, and when you got here, you set up your practice?
Yes. Our dream was having our own office, because there in Guadalajara we worked for other people.
Yeah.
And when we came here the first time, we started working for another person, but we kept that dream of having our own practice, our own office, and we started it.
Yeah. And so is this where you opened your practice, this building we're in right now?
No, the first time we opened our practice was at Colonia Versalles.
Ah, okay.
And then a friend of us invited us to come here to make a big team. So this friend of ours is an aesthetic doctor, and we're the dentistry part of the team. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So he's like a specialist here.
Yes.
So when you say aesthetics, what are they doing there? Whitening teeth? What are they doing?
No, that's Botox and fillers, and those are other parts of the face.
Yeah.
That he does, and we take care of the teeth.
Ah, okay, cool. All right, so that's really cool. All right, so let's talk about that now. What kind of things do you specialize in?
Well, me and my wife, we're both dentists, and my wife is a periodontist, which is a specialist in gum disease.
Okay.
And I am a specialist in implants, implantology.
Okay.
So that's what we mainly do, but we do general dentistry and root canals, and nobody likes root canals.
No, they don't.
and caps and veneers, teeth whitening, which is a very important part of our practice. And dental cleanings, and it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, so you kind of, you're all purpose. You do everything, right?
Yes.
All right. So now, if somebody was coming here and from the States or from Canada, or from anywhere else in the world for that matter, what do they need to do? Prior to coming here, they're going to come see you. What kind of time frame do they need to make an appointment? That kind of thing.
Okay. Actually, our patients make their appointments by phone, or if they cannot call, whether they're in Canada or on the States or anywhere else, they can send an email to us and make their appointment via email. So that's one thing. Prior to come here, if they get here and they're looking for us, they can come to our office and make the appointment right here.
Right. So what kind of lead time? You need more lead time than, hey, can you do my teeth tomorrow? You need that.
Yes. It has to be an appointment in advance, maybe 2 to 4 days in advance.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Or best, just let them know you're coming before you even get on the plane, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then they'll tell you when they can fit you in, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, remember that Germán and Maria both speak perfect English, okay? So don't feel badly, don't feel scared picking up your phone and calling them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's say somebody is coming and they've already visited their dentist over in the States or in Canada, and they are saying, this is ridiculous. I'm going to go to Mexico and get my teeth worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever consult with doctors in the States?
Yes, we do. We have attended a lot of courses and classes via their websites, and mentorship is very important for us. So we have mentors in the States. We can call them on any treatment, or even if the doctor of our patient is in the States, we can contact them and ask them for information, any information we need for a patient to have the best experience here.
Okay, good. All right. So, do they get mad at you?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure. No, they get mad at the client. They don't get mad at me.
They don't get mad at me, but
yeah.
No. Sometimes, they have to understand. There are some dentists in the States that are very jealous of their work, and they won't tell.
Yeah.
But well, it's not a secret what they do. It doesn't have to be a secret what they do, and so this is information for the patient.
Right.
This is not for us to make money. This is for the patient. So they don't have to be jealous about anything.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. They don't have to be, but
Yeah.
They do that. What is the most difficult part of your job?
Getting up early in the morning.
What time do you start here?
I start at 10 a.m.
Okay.
That's not very early,
No,
but
it's early enough.
Yeah. But I wake up at 6 a.m. So to check on the emails and setting everything up for the day. And I think that's the most difficult part, having everything set up and somehow controlled for the days. But sometimes it's not possible to have control about the things that you do on the day, but
because you get emergencies, you get stuff during the day,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there's stuff
Yes.
that just comes in, and you just have to help them, right?
Yes.
I just saw one leave your office now, so
Yes.
there you have it, right? All right. Well, that makes a whole lot of sense. Do you ever have people that are apprehensive to come in and have someone in Mexico work on their teeth?
Yes. We have a lot of patients that are like that. There are many techniques and solutions that we have for those kind of patients. Sometimes for people that are very
Nervous,
nervous, yeah, apprehensive. You say? We offer them a solution which is sedation. There's an anesthesiologist that comes here with us, and he does that procedure. And it's very comfortable because on one session we can do almost everything on one single session.
Wow. When you say almost everything, you're talking about like implants mostly, yeah?
Yes, mostly implants.
Yeah.
Yes, which is the difficult part of the whole process. But for example, when we have to place on some caps or a prosthesis or something else, then that has to be done on another appointment. It cannot be done on the same time.
Right. You got steps.
Yes.
Now let's talk a little bit about caps, or let's talk about making a tooth. So these implants, what are the teeth made of?
Well, the implants are divided on two pieces. The first piece is the root, which goes inside the bone. That's made of titanium, and the tooth itself the one you can see now, that's made of porcelain, so it's metal free. Yeah.
Okay. So and that is being are those being done by machines now? They're being
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, those are made by machines. We have two techniques here. One is made by a machine, and the other one is made by a person, a technician. And sometimes the technician is better than the machine.
Yeah.
There are some things that can be done. There are some things that the machine cannot do,
Right.
like making some caps personalized for that specific person, of a certain color or textures and everything that cannot be done by the machine. So we have to send it to the technician.
And how long does it take to produce something like that?
That takes from 3 to 7 days.
Okay, so you can maybe do something like that in like a week's time or
Yes.
something of that nature. So you probably get the post in there first, and then you make the tooth and come back in a week or something
Yes.
like that, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. So if somebody is actually coming and they're not just getting a cleaning, they really need to call you first and say, hey, this is what's happening, and we can kind of set up that appointment and then the follow-up appointment. And you know what kind of time frame you have if you're coming and visiting here to be able to have Herman take care of your teeth. So if somebody, so when somebody comes here and they and you work on their teeth, you're doing probably X-rays.
Yes.
You're doing. Are there things that people take home with them to, like their medical records or their dental records? That you provide that for them?
Yes. We just got a machine that makes the X-ray digital, so we can send them by email to the patient, and the patient can have their records on digital.
Mm-hmm.
So if they need to show the X-rays to the dentist back in the States or Canada, they can do it no problem.
Right, and some people can probably, or some, I imagine some people out there are looking to get reimbursed, and they can actually show what they paid and,
Yes.
and maybe get reimbursed too, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, cool. I like that a lot. So let's just take a little bit of a break here from PerioDent. Let's go out into the town and let's ruin our teeth, okay? Because we're going to start by eating, okay?
Okay.
Where do you get candy? Oh no. All right.
I have a lot of places here. Yeah.
I'll bet that he knows all the good candy shops. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll ask him last, and if I can remember. All right. So we like to know where you like to eat. We want to know where your favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner places are. So let's start with breakfast. Don't tell me your house, okay? Let's go somewhere else.
No, I love what my wife makes for breakfast. But well, let's see, a restaurant for breakfast. That would be two options. That would be the Pancake House here at Basilio Vadillo.
Uh-huh.
And the second one would be Freddy's Tucan.
Okay, so right
those
down
two
the
places.
street from each other.
Yes.
Yeah. And, they have a story between them,
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes, they do.
interesting. It's very interesting. All right, good. Now, when you go to the pancake house, what do you order?
What do I order?
Yeah.
That would be this. I don't remember the name of the breakfast, but it has waffle, scrambled eggs with bacon, and fruit. So that's what I
You like
order.
that? You like a waffle? Okay.
Yes.
And when you go to Freddy's, do you do the same thing?
I do the same thing.
I knew it. What does your wife get?
My wife, she likes pancakes,
Uh-huh.
mostly, or these chilaquiles.
Yeah.
So
Does she like them green or red?
red.
Red. All
Yes.
right. All right. Excellent. Okay. So what about lunch?
Lunch. That would be el mole de jovita.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell everybody about that place. What's so cool about that place?
Okay. That place has the best mole I've ever tasted here in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best.
So
for
what
me.
do you order? You order the enchiladas 3 ways? What do you do?
What? No. That would be the chicken 3 ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best with rice and beans. That for me, that's the best.
And it's just got the combination of all the moles. You can taste them all.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can taste them all.
I love that place. Cool. And you can sit on the sidewalk if you want to, or you can sit inside, which is real nice.
I like it better on the inside, where the little patio is.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's amazing.
All right. Good tip. All right. How about dinner? Where would you go to dinner?
Dinner. That would be La Vaca Argentina.
La Vaca. All right. So
Yeah,
you're
La Vaca
going
Argentina.
going there for the steak, right?
Yes.
All right. And that is, if I'm not mistaken, that's across from the mall, from the La Isla, right?
La Isla, correct.
All right,
Yes.
Right. And I bet you get a steak there, right?
Yes.
All right. What do you like? Which one?
I like vacío.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's the one.
All right. Okay. All right. Everybody taking notes. This is where the dentist goes to eat, so make sure. What about if you were going to go for sushi? Where would you go for sushi?
That would be at Tsunami. Tsunami, that's on Fluvial.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a very, very cool place. And I think on Tuesdays they have some specials, which is called tablas. And you go there, you ask for tablas, and they send you a lot of rolls, and you pick which roll would you have to have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So you get lots of choices. It's a special
You get
day.
yes.
So Tuesday at
Tsunami. Yes.
All right. Okay. How about Italian? You have a favorite Italian place?
Yeah. Yeah, for Italian, that's La Dolce Vita.
La Dolce Vita. And they've got 2 locations. What's your favorite
Yes.
dish there?
What's my favorite dish? That would be fettuccine.
Fettuccine.
Yeah,
All right.
fettuccine Alfredo.
And
That's
they do it good there.
yeah.
Yeah. What about a date night? You got a favorite like date night special one, or are you going to tell me vodka and that's all there is to it?
No, actually, me and my wife we like dancing. We like dancing salsa.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we sometimes go to La Bodeguita en Medio. That's a very, very interesting place. They play live music, live salsa. That's awesome.
Yeah. And they got upstairs and downstairs to dance in, right?
Yes.
So they also give lessons there, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. All right. So are you teaching too?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. I thought maybe you'd get the doctor out there teaching.
I'm not that good. No.
Oh, okay. All right. But if you want to learn, they do give lessons, and just stop in there and ask them. They'll tell you all about it. Oh, that's really cool. So that's a nice little date night. I like that.
Yeah.
You have like a little hole in the wall Fonda or something like that around here that you really like, little itty bitty restaurant that is just kind of hidden or in somebody's living room or whatever.
Yeah. Los Adobes.
Yeah.
Los Adobes. Very, very, very nice. They have some tasty food, and the service is awesome.
And it's just a little tiny place.
Yes,
And,
it's a little tiny place.
Yeah, the chef really knows his way around the kitchen, I'll tell you that.
Actually, the chef on that, he was working on a big restaurant, which is the River. And
River Cafe?
Yeah,
Oh,
River
he was there?
Cafe.
I didn't know that, yeah.
Yeah. And he decided to open his own place, and that's Los Adobes.
And that's what he did. Yeah, he's kind of shy. He doesn't want to talk to me. So. But that's okay. I'll just still eat his food. I don't care. All right. Now here comes the time. Where do you go for dessert?
Wow. Well, I love ice cream. I love ice cream, and I like to go to Plaza Galerías. which is right in front of the cruisers stop.
Oh, cruise ships, right?
Yeah, cruise ships.
Uh-huh.
And I go to this place called it's frozen yogurt. So yeah,
It's a frozen yogurt spot.
Yeah.
That's your favorite.
that's my favorite.
All right. I'm not going to ask you what your favorite candy store is. I don't know. Do you have a favorite candy store?
Not really.
Good, okay.
I like all of them.
Yes, you love all of them.
Yeah.
I know that. All right. All right. Let's move on from food. Let's talk a little bit about where you would go. Where you like to go if you had a day off? Where would you go? Day off, come back the same day.
Day off, come back the same day. Well, that depends. I like to go to the beach, especially here in Puerto Vallarta. Well, 3 blocks from my office, there's Playa Los Muertos, so
Yeah.
I like to go there.
It's just a hop, skip, and a jump, right? You
Yeah.
get out of here and go, let's walk down to the beach, honey. Right?
Yeah, go relax and forget about everything for just half an hour. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
The other time I went to this dam, which is Cajón de Peñas,
Okay.
and it's a really good spot for fishing.
Yeah, I mean, where is this place? It's like up in the mountain, right?
Yes, it's up in the mountain.
Right.
It's around. It would be 150 kilometers from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd take you, about 3 hours to get up there or something like that, or 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours to get there.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll have to check that out one of these days. So that's the water supply for the city, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. I got to get up there then. So good fishing up there, yes?
Yes, good fishing. Very good.
How about 3 days? If you had 3 days, where would you go?
I would go to San Sebastián del Oeste.
Yeah. Nice.
Which is up in the mountain, and they have these little cabins there. So it's a very nice and quiet place.
So it's a little rustic, right? Those cabins.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's a little bit. It's not camping really, but
It's not camping.
It's borderline camping. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I like that idea.
Good Mexican style.
Right. So, what you got a favorite restaurant in San Sebastian?
San Sebastián.
Or it doesn't have to be a restaurant; it could be anything.
Well, it would be the same as here in with Los Adobes. There are small places everywhere, so anywhere you go, you will have good food.
Yeah. Because otherwise, they wouldn't be there. They would not survive.
Correct.
In that little town. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right. So 3 days up in San Sebastian. I would like that. Actually, it'd be
Yes.
kind of nice. If you had a word of advice for someone, first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta, what would it be?
Well, to visit here, a place to visit that you should go, that would be El Cerro de la Cruz, which is a high hill, and you have a great view from there.
Right. So get up at the cross.
Yes.
Okay. So get on your walking shoes, guys and girls.
Yeah, because it's tough to get there.
Yeah.
It's really tough to get.
What about a word of warning? Do you have any words of warning for somebody who's coming here?
Not really. We have a very quiet place here. I found that life here in Puerto Vallarta is much easier than Guadalajara. So, no, not really.
Yeah, good. All right, I'm glad to hear that. All right, let's get back to PerioDent. Tell everybody where we can find you. What's your address?
The address is 205 Lázaro Cárdenas Street at Zona Romántica.
Right, and do you have a website? Do you have Facebook? Any of that kind of thing going on?
Yes, we have a Facebook page and Instagram, which is PerioDentPV, both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, well, I'll have links to all of that in the show notes, of course, and you can find that at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com and look for the PerioDent, episode. And with German right here in front of me, look at his smiling face, and I'll have pictures of his smiling face and of Maria. And these two doctors are here. They're waiting for you. They're gonna take care of your teeth and make your smile bright and clean, and maybe replace that missing tooth that you've been waiting to do. Is there anything I forgot? Is there anything you want to add before we say goodbye today, Herman?
Well, just our slogan. I would like to tell it's. Make your smile make the difference.
Yeah, it makes a difference, right? It's the first thing people see when they see you,
Absolutely.
Without your mask. But the first thing they see is your smile. It's really important, isn't it?
Yes.
And it makes you feel good when you got a good one too.
Yes.
Herman, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to introduce you and Maria and PerioDent to my listeners. I truly appreciate the time and look forward to seeing you again. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for reminding me, and it was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much, Herman. That's all great information. It's great to know. I've got his all of his information, including a map to get you to his front door, in the show notes. Of course, you can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. If you have an emergency, if you just want, if you want him to do your teeth, if you want Maria to whiten your teeth, or if you need some work done, these are really, really great people. They're gentle. They know what they're doing, and of course, the name of their place is PerioDent Dental Clinic in Puerto Vallarta. I've got links to their Facebook and their Instagram pages in the show notes. All right, well, that should do it for today. Stay tuned for next week for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. Until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him, right from his website. Remember, this is a value for value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you're going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his tours, he's got his maps, he's got his revitalized happy hour board and more. I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and follow and share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta. Just give me a good review wherever you happen to be listening to the show. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about. I have interesting pictures and more, all right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you to Johnny D for introducing me to our new dental team in Paradise. Thank you, Jesus Herman Sylva Lomeli, Dentista. Maria de la Cruz Herrera Mora, PerioDentista. Thanks for being in Vallarta for us when we need you. I have their contact information for you in the show notes. And thank you, Jack Dickerson, for introducing me to Belen and Jorge over at Fonda El Cucon. Their food is so good, you guys. Cucon, you guys. You need to get over there, and you need to either have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Really, you won't be disappointed, I'm telling you. Belen and Jorge, thank thank you once again. Find all their information, of course, at www.PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you all that slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta.